Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So I'll just show you what I have been doing. And yes, I revamped the storage and I made that the farm actually brings like the crops all over here because we're going to be using some of these today. Then I brought up pretty much all the chests. There's still a couple that I still need to bring, but most of the items I have here. And then I'm using these placards. They look kind of cool to display what the items are in here. And as you can see, we have a bunch of resources just laying around, you know, so I can build and do things just by grabbing them from here. I'm also using these crafting blueprints, and these ones are kind of cool. Like, for something you don't really want to automate, but you still want to have a quick way of doing them. I have a couple of these here that allow me to just quickly make crafting upgrades, just like that. For example, if I want to do drawers, I'm lacking in drawers. I grab a stack of spruce, then I shift right click here a couple of times, and then it makes all the spruce planks for me. And if I do this, and I get 32 chests. So, for example, we can easily just grab this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we do 32 drawers. Now, it still has like some leftovers here. For example, those I can stay there, and then I can turn these all into chests, and then I can save the chests here, for example. Or I can even grab all these chests, make more, and make even more drawers and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool and quick way to have some of the nicks and knacks like auto-crafted. For example, here, we can just go ahead and right-click this, and we're going to teach ourselves how to make the gearbox, and then here, well, I guess we can make one of these. Here, we teach ourselves the other gearbox. That's perfect. Then we have this wall right here, and this wall is kind of cool. And it does, well, what you might expect from the icons that are up here. For example, this guy has a millstone, which means if I put items here, they will go into a millstone and they will return on this barrel right here. And it's all back here. As you can see, it goes to the millstone and it comes out. And I have this for pretty much most of the things. Washing, haunting, mixing, and this actually mix copper and zinc into brass because I do have a blaze burner with some lava filled into him. And then we can smoke items, and we can smelt items, and we can even press down items. Now, there's a couple of things that I can't still do here. Like, for example, the red quartz stuff, like the polish, this system right here. I don't have this automated here, but I still have it automated here on the train track workshop. I am using this little dude, diamond grit sandpaper, and this guy has been very, very busy because I need a lot of parts for today, and I've been using a lot of parts for most of the videos as well. And as you can see, all the crops are now being put into this train right here. They come from underground. Very easy, very simple, and then they get put into this guy. There's not really a lot of crops here at the moment. I might even make it a little bit better because I believe just tossing these items out, like how much he has. I'm gonna switch so it always outputs 32 at a time. So it only be outputting 32, which means it's a lot easier for the train to fully finish uploading. Yeah, for example, like there's 5 tomatoes, there's 1 cabbage. Like, we can put these together into bulk items, so it's easier to transport. And it also makes it a lot easier on our crane, because this crane works like this. Like, the funnels toss the items, as the train is coming in, it will start pumping out a lot of items. That was some andesite, and you start seeing a lot of like crops and wood and stuff like that just flowing through this all the way up. And if the items are bulked in together, it makes it a lot easier. Yep, you can see, there they go. It's super fast. Because I don't want to have the risk that these barrels fill up. I guess the only barrel that could possibly fill up is the last one, which is somewhere around here. But hopefully the inside of this is actually going fast enough so it doesn't really clog up at any point. Like, this belt needs to be going as fast as possible. And then I made myself a little bit of a lounge, you know, with all these chipped tables that we used, say every now and then, an anvil, stone cutters, so we can start like decorating and stuff. We even have like a coffee zone here. Whenever we get some coffee, I'm gonna get some coffee and just, I mean, I don't think there's actually coffee in this pack, which is bad, you know. There's coffee tables and there's no coffee. Like, what do you mean, man? What do you mean? I don't believe there's tea as well. Oh, there's actually some builder's tea, so you might want to automate this at some point, just because. And then there's my bed, just my bed, so I can chill. I took some screenshots. And I also did another thing. This thing right here. This is now making an infinite amount of netherrack. Yes, I have a cobblestone generator that is, well, inputting cobblestone into a basin with lava, and then that basin is taking in cinder flour. I have the lava that's coming all the way from down all the way to that area upstairs that has a blaze burner, and I thought, well, I can just reroute this into a basin and use this to make netherrack. Now this netherrack is being crushed in these crushing wheels, and then it's making cinder flour. Now the cinder flour will go into another setup, and that's one of the main reasons of today's video, and that setup is going to be making some seed oil. Or actually, not seed oil, is more like bioethanol. Seed oil is like a byproduct, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because we need this recipe right here. We need sugar, we need cinder flour, and we need biomass to make bioethanol. Bioethanol is amazing because it will allow us to have super heated blazes. And that is pretty powerful. Now, we are automating cinder flour already. We technically have automated sugar with the witch farm, but that's not super reliable. So I will be passing sugarcane through a millstone, so we get even more sugar. And sugarcane is also being farmed like constantly, so that's a good thing. And the other item is, of course, biomass. Biomass can be a little bit trickier, but we can still do this. It needs heated regular blaze in a mixer, and it needs seed oil. Now, the recipe that I am going with is basically taking advantage of the beetroots and the flax, because I don't think I really need a lot of beetroots, and I don't need a lot of flax. I got the spider farm, so I don't need the string from the flax. So the flax will, and the flax seeds, they will all be turned into biomass. For example, if you take a look at the recipe here, flax, you can see that one of the uses of this, yep, we can put it together with seed oil and it makes one biomass. And if you take a look at the flax seeds, we can compact it down to make seed oil. Perfect. It's a bonus situation. Now the beetroot does have a little bit more uses, but it's not really that many uses. Like, you can use it on a couple of recipes. If we don't use it, I'm not gonna die for it, because I really ideally won't want to automate the hamburgers, and the hamburgers don't use beetroots. So that's all right for me. Which means this area right here is the area that we will be making the seed oil, and we will be making it a biomass, and then we'll put those together, making bioethanol. But yeah, and then I also made the farms down below talkable. But there's a small issue with this system right here, is that the only one that's fully isolated from the others is this one. So the granite farm I can toggle on and off at will, that it doesn't bother anybody. But if I shut down the brick factory, it shuts down all the upstairs area, which is bad. And if I shut down the andesite farm, I also shut down the lava pipe that's coming in to this blaze burner that's down there. And I also stop it from powering the excavator all the way down here in the new region. And after, well, a little bit of a headache, I now have this kind of monstrosity. It is still like getting the items it needs. As you guys can see, they're flowing in, and there's already things going wrong. Okay, though I gotta go ahead and stop this. Well, there we go. Now it's fixed. Basically, the sugarcane was just coming through. Now it is actually going into that drawer, and then comes into this millstone to be turned into sugar. And only after a while does all of this go down. Now, if this is stopped, that's not a good sign. Yeah, there was still some sugarcane down here just clogging things up. Basically, now everything should start to be a lot smoother coming down here. Yep, it seems everything is fine. So basically, we're gonna get sugar, we're gonna get flax, we're gonna get flax seeds, we're gonna get beetroots, and we're gonna get beetroot seeds. The beetroot seeds and the flax seeds come into here, into these drawers, and then they come into here, and as you can see, there's already like a bunch of it here. Goes into this basin, and then it gets mechanical pressed into seed oil. Then the same thing happens with both seeds. Then those come into here, the seed oil come into here, which is going to get flax and beetroots. Those are being powered with blaze burners down here with lava. It was complicated to get the lava here, but I was actually able to. And that turns into biomass. Biomass comes into here and flows into that basin. The sugar has a stop in this drawer, but then it also keeps going into the basin. And the same for the cinder flour, which I have this on prefer nearest. So hopefully it's going to prefer sending items that way. I need to test this out just to make sure. But then the items will go into here, and now we have bioethanol. Though I still need to take it out and put it into like pretty big tank, I should say. Well, after a lot of testing and actually having like 9 blaze burners consuming bioethanol, I was actually able to make this sustainable, because it wasn't. For some reason, our crop farms were not enough, even though we have like this massive area. The areas that we were farming flax and beetroots, they were not enough. They just were not. So now we are back gaining beetroot seeds and flax seeds. We are not actually gaining any type of beetroots and flax because it all gets consumed, but we're producing enough so that even with 9 blaze burners, we're still gaining bioethanol. This started at 96 buckets and it's now up to 99 after a little while just AFKing here. So yes, we are in the green with bioethanol. Of course, that didn't happen like by magic, right? I had to do some changes. Mainly, I'm farming rich soil. Now, rich soil you make with organic compost, and then you turn it into rich soil by having like out in the sun, next to mycelium, next to water, next to mushrooms, and it will speed up the process. As you can see, there's still like a few organic compost that are still turning into rich soil, and then use rich soil to farm or to plant your seeds, and that will significantly boost the rate at which your crops grow. I also went around some villages because we have like several near us, like we have 4 different villages here, but these ones, I guess you can call them oak ones. Yeah, the oak ones do have a fair amount of these plots that actually have rich soil in them, and I went around and I gathered a bunch of these, and as you can see, like these 2 full plots are made with rich soil. This one is only like half of it. As you can see here, it's only like half that's actually transformed. And why is... Wait. Guy's stuck here for some reason. Well, that's why I have this system right here, so we can just send him back on his way. But yeah, I like to like cut off like half of the fields for everything. So we have half of tomatoes, half of onions, half of potatoes, half of cabbages. I removed the wheat field entirely and I replaced it with more flax and more beetroots. And now seems to be enough. I still want to finish making these ones rich soil, because I do have like half of this one, this one, this one, and that one over there. So maybe even if we make some more changes as well, maybe we can push up and have 18 blaze burners. I'll have to test it out. Hopefully when I have all the rich soil done, which I should have enough to do this area right now. Hopefully we can make it work. And so guys, after a few hours, I think we're ready to start our power plant. Yes, because it took quite a while to dig up this tunnel, but the tunnel is now finished. And there's a train already circling on here, and as you can see, it turns there, it turns there. At the moment, there's only a single loop. It doesn't go anywhere else. But I'm using this underground subway train to bring me the ethanol all over to this region, because the boiler we have at our home is doing enough, but here's where we need the big boys. I don't even know if that's like the proper size. It might be a little bit too big. I'm not sure, but yeah, I tested it and I can keep these 9 plus these 9 working and still gain ethanol, which was actually like my main worry. But we are actually able to pull that off. Now, I do still need to implement these boilers like fully, so that then we can actually start extracting thing from there. Whenever the train arrives, it stops there, and then we need to pull it over here. And I will actually try to decorate all these tunnels, because I need to find a cool design to put it here, and easily repetitive, because I'm not gonna go like super into detail, but I want to do something clean for the tunnels. Okay, so here is the first test. I'm not sure this guy is enough to pull. It seems to be just about reach there. There he goes. And it should be able to pull it all the way into here. Now, then I still need to power this pump. But as you can see, we're slowly getting bioethanol. Now, whenever I have this pump like going super fast, that guy will get extracted a lot easier. And there we go. We got full steam. Run a boiler at max capacity. 294,000 on 15 engines. And I believe I can do more engines as well. I believe I can go like another layer of engines. But that's a lot of steam engines just here. Yeah, we have 2 maxed out boilers. That is crazy. But well, guys, now I have to spend a lot of time in my workshop, like a lot of time, because I want to make like a stack of these alternators plus another stack of these electric motors. So I'm gonna have go ahead and try and craft as much of this as I can. So to spare me a little bit of hassle, I made myself the mechanical crafters, and I made this little arm do the things for me. It's picking up items from here, from these depots. I still need to like feed it some more. And I'm only gonna go for 32 alternators and 32 electric motors. Just for now. I'll do more later. Because I kind of need a bunch more copper. So I'll wait until I have my copper production a little bit ramped up. But as you can see, it puts the things in place. And then the mechanical crafters do their own thing. I did have to put crafter covers on these crafters, so for now they're locked, but if in case I want to use this again for anything else, I can just take the covers off and use it normally. For now I have this. Whenever it ends up processing the alternators, yes, I will do the electric motors. That's basically the only change is the brass sheets, because instead of using the iron sheets, it then uses brass sheets. And so the system will be sort of like this. For each boiler, we're gonna have 18 of these alternators, because we can do 1 for each of those engines. Like if we get here, we can easily see that each engine is consuming 16,000 or making 16,000, and each one of these ones at max speed is using 16,000 as well. Only producing 360, but we do have quite a lot here. And I made this. This is not yet finished, because I do still need to make an iron farm here. This is the automatic steel. I completely forgot about the name of steel. But yeah, this is the automatic process to get steel. It all starts here with this excavator, which is at the moment temporarily stopped. And it produces coal ore. We have to separate sulfur, cobble, gravel, and cobble deep slate. We'll just separate this, put it into a void draw, and probably ignore it, because we don't need this anymore at the moment. So we probably ignored it. And then take the coal, put it into this bad boy crusher. Why the crusher? Well, the crusher is amazing because it actually does like the biggest output for this. Like for example, coal ore, if we cook it, gives 1. If we crush it, has 1 plus 75% chance of a second one, plus some experience in cobble. If we cook it, we get 1, but if we crush it, we get 4, and we get 1 sulfur dust. So I went ahead and decided to go with the crusher here. Now the crusher puts into this belt line, which separates the sulfur here and then sends the coal forward. Now the coal goes into this drawer, and I have made this so it perfectly separates this exactly. How did I do this? Well, I hooked up this guy, both of these ones, that one and this one, to only export 2 coal pieces at a time. And then I have this guy on forced split, which means that this guy will force 1 here and 1 there. Always. It will always do that, which means all of these guys will be equally fed coal, which means they can produce coal coke. Then I pump out the creosote oil into this dude right here, and I do need to find a way to just destroy creosote oil, because I could use it, but I probably will destroy it because I don't need this much. Then the items go upwards. Yes, they don't go upwards at the moment because I haven't placed these extracting conveyor belts, and I'm using the conveyor belts from immersive engineering. They're really cool at giving me height, like easier ways to send the items upwards. So I'm using them here because I was kind of caught up in space. And if we go with these new create andesite scaffolding, pretty cool. You can see that up here the items will pump out into this belt. Then from this belt there's another step needed, which is these brass tunnels. Now these brass tunnels need to be on synchronized input. So it inputs 1 coal coke and 1 iron ingot at the same time. It needs to do that because let's imagine this thing as it is. It has 64 iron ingots inside of this machine. And it still needs coal coke, but for some reason I send in the iron ingot first. Then the iron ingot will block out this chute, which means no more coal coke can come into the furnace and actually be used. So that's a real issue. Then of course I'm using the improved blast furnaces, which actually allow input and output of items easy. They do have an input at the top, which needs the input of coal coke and the iron. That's why we have that sorting system up there. And they can actually be preheated with these dudes at the side, so they cook faster. Then they have an output at the front, which I haven't dealt with. And they also have another output at the back for slag, which I also haven't dealt with. But the main issue right now is that, well, there's no iron here. So I need an iron farm here. So guys, I made an iron farm. It doesn't look pretty, it's not super fast, but I believe it will get the job done. And also as a precaution, I added an extra layer so that the coal or the coal coke would jump onto that chute, stay in this drawer, and then only being put 1 at a time into here to make sure that only 1 ever gets into here. Just in case, I also have these drawers here just as a precaution, because the items go into here and then they get pushed down. And I believe this is perfectly fine. The only thing that I'm now needing to do to make this thing work well is of course get the collection system working here. But I do have a bunch of coal coke just sitting there, and I do want to see if it will get processed as it should. So if I find what I'm looking for, here it is, these extractor conveyor belts. I would also be removing this extra iron that I have here to make sure that everything goes smoothly and run out of storage. We should start seeing, yep, the coal coke just jump onto the drawers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lock these, that they remember that they should only have coal coke in them, and they should only be Like, they should only input the amount of coal coke according to the amount of iron that I have. So every time it puts an iron ingot, it puts a coal coke. So it just put 3 or 4 iron ingots. It should have put 3 or 4 coal cokes. Now I need to do the like the outputs to the slag. Probably just put these going into a drawer somewhere for the time being until I decide what I want to do with it. But you know what, guys? It's been a long day, and I do still have to design this building and that building. So it's gonna take a while. But as always, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.